Hello friends, hope you're having a great day so far. Thank you as always for joining me in our weekly devotion videos. It's good to study scripture together. Don't forget, we are working our way through the Generous Life devotional right now. If you don't have a copy, please let me know. I can get it into your hands so that you can dive in. These devotions are fairly short, just a few quick verses on a specific topic throughout the week. Today is day 5 for our devotional, and so hopefully you are tracking right along. It's been thought-provoking for myself, and I hope it has been for you as well. So that way we can ask the question, what does God call us to in our finances? This week we've been focusing on God being the owner of all things, that really we are the stewards of God's creation and all the good things that He has given to us. That He, as Creator, is Lord over all. And so today we're going to be in Mark chapter 8, verse 36. That's one of our verses for the reading today. Jesus says, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world yet forfeit their soul?" Throughout the Gospels, Jesus calls out the wealthy, and that is true throughout the New Testament as well, because He understands the tension between our material possessions and what God has called us to in service of His purposes in the world. This passage comes in the context of Jesus calling His disciples to bear their own cross. They must deny themselves, deny those desires within to gain more and acquire more and to ascend the social ladder through their wealth and their influence. And so if God is the owner of all things, we often get this backwards, that we think of ourselves in terms of ownership. That in reality, God is the one who owns it. He is Lord over everything in our lives. And so what does the way of the cross ask us to do? To deny ourselves, to serve our neighbors, and to give freely of the gifts that God has already given to us. There is this tension in the New Testament and throughout Scripture between wealth and following Christ. And we often level these verses out and say, well, He wasn't really being so provocative here. He really was just telling us to be careful with our finances, that really it is possible to be wealthy and to serve God still. And that is true. There are many people who serve the Lord through the leveraging of their finances that they recognize God has given to them in the first place. But there is a serious tension for us that we ought to take very, very seriously, the words of Jesus here. Because what we can do when we climb the social ladder, when we acquire more and more, we can make it about our own wants and desires and lose sight of God and His purposes in our life. And so it is possible for us to gain the world and yet lose our soul, lose sight of the way of the cross and the life of servant leadership that Christ calls us to in response. So if God is Lord of your finances, if it is possible to gain the world yet lose your soul, how are you following the way of Jesus and sacrificing of the gifts that God has given to you? How are you being a good steward of the things that He has given to you to use well in His kingdom? I hope you've enjoyed these devotionals so far. Don't forget, there's a worksheet at the end of this first week. Make sure to go through it. It's a snapshot of your finances. And what does God's calling on our life require of us? What does it ask us to do to be generous with what He has given us in the first place? Thank you for joining me. I will see you next week as we work our way through this devotional. And I'll look forward to seeing you hopefully on Sunday for service. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.